Nathan Rogers had been staring at the same broken screen for 6 hours. The display showed nothing but red warnings and error codes. His small exploration ship, the Deep Runner, was dying in the dark void of space. And so was he. He sat in the pilot's seat, his hands floating in front of him in the weightless cabin. All the engines were gone. Life support was running on emergency power, and that would last maybe 3 more days. After that, the air would get bad. Then it would get very bad. Then it would stop. Nathan was 34 years old. He had been a military pilot before joining the exploration program. He had always wanted to see what was out there, beyond the known worlds. Now he was about to see nothing forever. The ship had jumped through a wormhole 2 weeks ago. The readings looked good on the scanner, so Nathan took the risk. Experienced pilots took risks. That was the job. But this wormhole was different. It was not stable. The jump twisted his ship's systems. The engines failed first. Then the navigation computer died. Then the backup systems failed too. Now Nathan drifted in empty space, somewhere he could not be found. He had sent a distress signal as soon as the engines died. The signal was weak, but he sent it anyway. Humans had received weak signals before. They had found people with weak signals. But Nathan knew the math. The nearest human station was still hundreds of light years away. Even if someone heard the signal right now, it would take decades for a rescue ship to arrive. Nathan did not have decades. He had 3 days. He pulled up his personal log and turned on the recording device. This is Lieutenant Commander Nathan Rogers. If anyone is listening to this, I want you to know I tried to get home. His voice sounded thin and tired in the empty cabin. I made a mistake with the wormhole. That was my fault. I should have run more tests. I should have waited for the new jump gates to be finished. But I wanted to see what was out there. I wanted to be the one to find something new. I guess I found it. I just did not find anything I could survive. He paused. He thought about his mother back on Earth. He thought about his sister. He thought about his best friend Marcus, who had told him not to take the Deep Runner through an untested wormhole. Good people would feel bad when they heard the signal. Nathan was sorry about that. "I am sorry," he said to the recording. "I am sorry I will not make it home. I am sorry I will not get to tell you goodbye." He stopped the recording. There was nothing else to say. Nathan tried to sleep, but sleep did not come. The cabin was too cold. The emergency life support did not have enough power to keep the heat systems running properly. He wrapped himself in the only blanket on the ship and looked out the window at the black nothing outside. That was when he saw the light dot at first. Nathan thought he was dreaming. But the light was real. It was far away, but it was getting closer. It was blue and white, and it did not look like any human ship. Human ships had a different shape, different colors. This ship was smooth and long, like a silver fish. Nathan moved to the communication system, his frozen hands shaking. "Unidentified ship, this is the Deep Runner. I am in distress. My systems are failing. I need help." For a long moment, nothing happened. Nathan watched the ship get closer. Maybe it was not going to help. Maybe it would just pass him by. Maybe it was not even a ship at all, just some strange space effect his tired brain was creating. Then a voice came through the speaker. It was not like any human voice. It was smooth and calm, with a strange shape to the words. "Deep Runner, we have received your signal. Your ship's power systems are very weak. We can help you. Our name is Captain Yuri of the Venn Exploration Fleet. We will bring you aboard our vessel. You will be safe." Nathan felt his chest tighten. He did not know what the Venn were. He had never heard of them. But they were coming to him, and they said they would help. That was all he needed to know. The ship that was shaped like a silver fish moved closer and closer to the Deep Runner. Nathan could see it now, really see it. It was massive, much bigger than his small ship. A light came out from the side of it and surrounded the deep runner. "We are taking your ship into our hold," Captain Yuri said. "You will feel some movement. Do not be afraid." Nathan felt the deep runner move. The ship was not falling anymore. It was being pulled toward the bigger ship. A door opened below him and his ship moved inside. The door closed and there was a shaking feeling, like being caught by something very strong. Then the engines died completely. All the lights went out. Nathan's emergency power was gone. Everything became black. Nathan woke up. He was not in his ship anymore. He was lying on something soft, and there was light above him. The light was warm and blue, and it made him feel calm. He tried to move, but his body was weak and tired. A face appeared above him. It was not a human face. The being had smooth skin that was a pale green color, and its eyes were large and dark, like pools of water. It had no nose like Nathan's, just two small openings. Its mouth was small and gentle-looking. "Hello," the being said. His voice was the same as Captain Yuri's voice. "I am Captain Yuri. You are safe now. Your body was very cold, and your air was very bad. We have fixed these problems. You will be okay." Nathan tried to speak, but his throat was dry. He pointed to his mouth. Captain Yuri understood right away. The being brought a cup of water to Nathan's lips, and Nathan drank. The water was cold and the best thing he had ever tasted. "How long?" Nathan asked. "You have been asleep for 19 hours, Captain Yuri said. "Your body needed rest. We had to warm your core temperature very slowly. If we went too fast, it would damage your body. Now you are getting better." Nathan looked around. He was in a white room with no walls that he could see. There were lights all around, and the air was cool and clean. A machine near him made soft beeping sounds. It was attached to his arm with a small tube. "Why did you help me?" Nathan asked. Captain Yuri's face moved in a way that might have been a smile. "We received your message before the Ven ship arrived. We have been following your species for a long time. We know your kind. You have strong will to live. You are brave, even when things are very hard. When we saw you were in trouble, we could not leave you to die. That is not what we do. We save life when we can. This is our way." Nathan felt tears come to his eyes. He was alive. He did not know how, but he was alive. The universe had sent him help from a place he did not know existed. Somehow, this alien captain, this Ven, had decided to save him. "Thank you," Nathan said. "You are welcome," Captain Yuri said. "Now you rest more. Your body is still very weak. We will talk more when you are stronger." Nathan closed his eyes, and this time sleep came easy. He was alive, and he was safe. Whatever happened next, he could face it. The Ven had given him that gift. 5 years had passed since Nathan woke up in the medical room of the Ven ship. 5 years of learning their language, their ways, and their beliefs. 5 years of working with the crew, teaching them about Earth, and learning about the VHN. The Ven were not fighters. They were traders and explorers. They built things with their hands and their minds. They talked about problems and worked to fix them together. They believed all life was important, even the life of a human from a world they had only heard through radio signals. Nathan grew stronger every day on the Ven ship. He learned to move in their gravity. He learned to eat their food, though it took time to get used to the taste. He learned their language, which had sounds that were hard for his human mouth to make. But he tried anyway. Captain Yuri taught Nathan about the Ven culture. They showed him pictures of their home world, a place with blue oceans and tall cities that seemed to grow like trees. They taught him about their families and their history. Nathan taught them about Earth. about pizza and music and the strange human need to build walls and fight each other. But the Ven wanted to take Nathan home. It was what they believed was right. After 5 years of travel, the Ven ship came to the edge of known human space. They sent a signal to the nearest human station. They told the station a human was aboard and that he wanted to go home. The response came fast. Too fast. Too angry. 3 military ships surrounded the Ven vessel before Nathan could even say goodbye to the crew. The ships had their weapons ready, and they were talking to the Ven in a language the Ven did not understand. Captain Yuri tried to explain, but nobody was listening. Nathan ran to the communication room and broadcast his identity. "This is Lieutenant Commander Nathan Rogers. I am a human. I am on the Ven ship by choice. Please stand down your weapons. The Ven are peaceful. They saved my life." After a long wait, the ships moved back a little, but their weapons stayed ready. The military came aboard the Ven ship with guns. They looked at Nathan like they did not believe he was human. They took blood from his arm. They asked him questions for hours. They wanted to know everything about the Ven ship, its weapons, its speed, its technology. Nathan tried to explain that the Ven did not have weapons, not real ones anyway. The military did not believe him. They kept asking the same questions over and over, looking for the answer they wanted to hear. After 3 days, they took Nathan to a military base on Station 5. The Ven stayed on their ship, under guard. Nathan was put in a small room with no windows. A doctor looked at him and said he was human, but he was changed somehow. His bones were different. His muscle was different. He had spent so long away from Earth that his body did not work like a normal human body anymore. The military asked him more questions. They asked about the Ven weapon systems. Nathan said the Ven did not have weapon systems. They asked about Ven military bases. Nathan said the Ven were not military. They asked about Ven goals in this part of space. Nathan said the Ven wanted to explore and trade and learn about other species. The military did not believe any of it. They thought Nathan was lying or that the Ven had brainwashed him. They thought he was a spy or a traitor. After 2 months in the military base, Nathan had had enough. He asked to see a lawyer. The lawyer was a woman named Susan, and she had gray hair and kind eyes. "What do you want to do?" Susan asked. "I want to go back to the Ven ship," Nathan said. "They saved my life. I belong with them." "That is your choice," Susan said. "But I need to warn you. If you leave Earth space with the Ven, you will lose your human citizenship. You will have no government to protect you. You will be an alien in the eyes of the law." Nathan thought about this for a long time. He thought about his mother and his sister and Marcus. He thought about the Earth he remembered. But he also thought about Captain Yuri and the Ven crew. He thought about Kesh, a Ven engineer who had been his friend for 5 years. He thought about the feeling of being part of a family. "I want to go back," Nathan said. "They saved me. I owe them." The military released him. They did not want him anymore. He was broken, they said. Too changed. Not human enough. Nathan went back to the Ven ship. Captain Yuri was waiting for him at the docking port. "I am sorry they treated you this way," Captain Yuri said. "I am sorry they treated you this way," Nathan said. "But I made my choice. I want to stay with you." The Ven ship left Earth space and went back out into the darkness of the galaxy. Nathan did not look back. Years passed. Nathan became a full member of the Ven crew. He rose from engineer to strategist to advisor. He learned everything about how the Ven thought and worked. He fell in love with Kesh, the engineer who had become his best friend. They bonded in the Ven way, and their love was deep and true. A daughter was born to them. They named her Myra, which meant light from 2 suns in the Ven language. Nathan held his daughter for the first time, and he felt his whole heart change. This was his home now. Not Earth, not the military. Here, with the Ven, with his family. 15 years after the Ven brought him aboard their ship, Nathan stood on a balcony outside Kesh's living space. He could see the stars through the window. Mira was learning to read Ven, and she could speak to her parents in both human and Ven languages. She was smart and kind, just like her mother. Nathan was home. He had finally found a place where he belonged. He did not know that this peace would not last much longer. He did not know that darkness was coming for his family. He did not know that soon he would have to make a choice that would change his whole world. But for now, he was just a father, looking out at the stars, feeling grateful for the life the Ven had given him. He was grateful to Captain Yuri for stopping to help a dying human. He was grateful to Kesh for becoming his family. He was grateful for the daughter who called him father. Nathan stood in the darkness, surrounded by the people he loved, and he was finally at peace. The alarm sounded at 0200 hours. Nathan woke to red light filling the cabin. Kesh was already awake, moving fast toward the communication center. Nathan pulled on his clothes and followed her through the corridors of the Ven ship. The control room was chaos. Screens showed star maps filled with red dots, all of them moving toward Ven space. Captain Yuri stood in the center of the room, her voice calm but her body tense. All exploration teams, return to the main fleet immediately, the captain said into the communication device. We have unknown vessels approaching from the Krell territories. Krell. Nathan had heard the name before, but he had never seen them. The Ven traders spoke of the Krell with fear and respect. They were a military species, they said. They expanded their territory by force. But the Krell had never come into Ven space before. The Ven and the Krell had an understanding. They did not bother each other. Nathan moved to the tactical display. He studied the dots, counting them, noting their speed and formation. In his military days, he would have called this an invasion. A large one. How many ships? Nathan asked. 42 vessels, said Vorn, the Ven military advisor. Vorn had a small military force, maybe 300 soldiers on the main ship and a few thousand across the Ven colonies. It was enough to keep peace. It was nothing compared to what was coming. What did they want? Nathan asked. We do not know yet, Captain Yuri said. They are not responding to our messages. They are simply moving toward our territories at high speed. Nathan looked at the speed calculations. The Krell ships would reach the nearest Ven colony in 12 days. The Ven had maybe 100 people living on that colony. They had no weapons, no defenses. They were a small group of traders and scientists. We need to evacuate that colony now, Nathan said. Captain Yuri nodded. Already done. Transport ships are on the way. But we must prepare for more than this. If the Krell are coming here, they are coming for a reason. Nathan did not sleep for the next 40 hours. He studied everything the Ven knew about the Krell. He looked at their ship designs, their past conflicts with other species, their attack patterns. Every single thing he learned was bad. The Krell conquered slowly. They moved through space like a wave, taking everything in their path. Other species had tried to fight them. Other species had tried them. All of those species were now gone or living under Krell control. The Krell did not accept peace treaties or trade agreements. They only wanted more territory, more resources, more power. The Ven were peaceful. Their ships were designed for exploration and commerce, not for war. The Ven believed in talking to solve problems, in finding ways to make peace. But the Krell did not talk. The Krell took Nathan called Captain Yuri and Vorn to the map room. The Krell will not stop, Nathan said. They will keep moving into Ven space until they have taken everything you have. The only way to stop them is to show them they cannot win. How do we do that? Vorn asked. We fight, Nathan said. We build a defense line. We position ships here, here, and here. We fortify the colonies that have the most population. We create a wall the Krell cannot break. Captain Yuri's face showed sadness. Our people are not fighters, Nathan. We have never fought a war. We do not have warriors or soldiers. Most men have never even held a weapon. Then we learn, Nathan said. And we teach them fast. For the next days, Nathan worked with the Ven military. He showed them basic tactics. He taught them how to use their ships as weapons, even though the ships were not designed for war. He taught them about defense and positioning. He taught them that sometimes you have to fight to keep what you love. The Ven learned fast. They had good minds and strong will, but they were not built for violence. Nathan could see the pain in their eyes every time they learned how to aim a weapon at another ship. The Ven did not want to hurt anything. It went against everything they believed. The first colony fell on the 8th day of the invasion. The Krell attacked without warning, their ships moving fast and hard. The defense force Nathan trained tried to stop them, but the Krell weapons were too strong. Half of the defense ships were destroyed. The rest had to retreat. The colony on the surface was evacuated, but 300 Ven died trying to escape. Nathan watched the reports come in. He watched numbers on a screen, but he knew those numbers were people. Families, scientists, traders, builders, all gone. Captain Yuri came to him after the battle was lost. The captain's eyes were red from crying. "They are dead because of what I told you to do," the captain said. "I gave them weapons. I told them to fight. Now they are dead." "They are dead because the Krell came," Nathan said. "Fighting was the only choice you had. If you had not fought, they would have all died, and the Krell would have kept coming. How do you live with this?" Captain Yuri asked. "How do you live with the weight of killing?" "You don't," Nathan said. "You live with it. The weight never goes away, but you accept it because the cost of not fighting is worse." More colonies fell. More Ven died. The defense line Nathan created held for days, then weeks, then it broke. The Krell pushed deeper and deeper into Ven space. The Ven population was spread out across many worlds. As the Krell advanced, more people had to be evacuated. More ships had to flee. Nathan stood in the command room, watching the maps change. Red dots moved across blue territory, taking everything, destroying everything. The Ven were losing. Captain Yuri appeared beside him. The captain looked older now, worn down by the weight of watching her people die. "I am sorry," Nathan said. "Why?" Captain Yuri asked. "Because I came from a warrior species. Because I taught you to fight. Because I cannot stop them." Captain Yuri put her hand on Nathan's shoulder. "You did not make the Krell come. You did not make them killers. You are trying to save my people. That is all anyone can do." Nathan looked at his hands. These hands had once served the human military. These hands had learned to fight when he was young. These hands had been holding a cup of tea when he was rescued, and now they were holding weapons. The Ven had given him a home. They had given him a family. Now he was teaching them to kill to survive. "There is one thing left," Nathan said slowly. "One choice we have not made yet." "What?" Captain Yuri asked. "We call for help," Nathan said. "We send a signal to Earth. We tell them what is happening here. We ask them to send their military." Captain Yuri's eyes widened. "That is what you said before." "I said no then. I was afraid. I was afraid Earth would see us as a threat. I was afraid they would not help. I was afraid to bring humans into our war." "I know," Nathan said. "But now the Krell will kill everything you are. Earth is the only hope we have." Nathan could feel the moment change. Captain Yuri looked at her hands, then at the maps, then at Nathan. "Send the signal," the captain said. Send it now. Nathan sat in the small room with the old transmitter in front of him. The machine had been taken from his crash ship years ago. The Ven had restored it carefully, preserving every part. Captain Yuri had kept it as a memory of the day the Ven first met humanity. Now that machine would call humanity back. Nathan's fingers moved over the keyboard. He had to choose every word carefully. The message had to travel across the void of space to a receiver on Earth Station 5, and it had to make people understand. It had to tell them that a human was calling them. It had to tell them that a species they did not know was dying. It had to tell them that the Krell were coming for everyone. Nathan began to type. His message was simple and clear. This is Lieutenant Commander Nathan Rogers, Human Military. I am alive and I am with the Ven species. You do not know them, but they saved my life. Now they are under attack from the Krell, an aggressive military species. The Krell will destroy the Ven unless we stop them. The Krell will then come for human space. We must act now. I am sending tactical data on Krell ships and positions. I am sending data on their weapons and their strategy. Please, send help. Send the Terran Armada. We are running out of time. He added all the data the Ven had gathered on the Krell. He added ship positions, weapon specifications, fleet movements, and battle tactics. He added information about Ven population centers that were still being evacuated. He made the message as clear and useful as he could. Nathan encoded the message and prepared it for transmission. Then he turned to Captain Yuri, who was standing in the doorway. Once I send this, everything changes, Nathan said. Earth will know about the Ven. Earth will know there are other species out here. And they will know a human is alive and fighting for an alien civilization. I know, Captain Yuri said. But what is the choice? We die alone or we try to live together? I choose to live together. Nathan pressed the button. The signal left the transmitter and traveled into space at the speed of light. Aimed at Earth. It would take 17 days to arrive. While the signal crossed the void, the war continued. The Krell did not slow down. They did not know that help was coming. They just kept moving forward, taking colonies, killing Ven, expanding their territory. The evacuation of civilians became Nathan's main focus. He worked with Kesh and other Ven to move people from dangerous zones to safer ships. Millions of Ven had to be moved from their homes. Mothers left their houses with nothing but the clothes they wore. Children carried toys they had owned since birth. The elderly left behind the lives they had built over decades. The military bases, under Nathan's control, fought to slow the Krell advance. But every battle was a loss. They could slow the Krell down, but they could not stop them. Nathan lost contact with 7 different defensive positions. He knew what that meant. It meant those ships had been destroyed. It meant thousands of Ven had died. Kesh found Nathan in the tactical room at 0300 hours. His eyes were red and his hands were shaking. He had not slept in 2 days. You need to rest, Kesh said. People are dying, Nathan said. Myra is sleeping safely on the evacuation ship because I am here, making decisions, trying to find a way to save everyone. I cannot rest. Then you will break, Kesh said. And when you break, Mira will not have a father. Your people will not have a leader. Nathan felt the truth of it. He stood up and let Kesh take him to a small room. He fell asleep the moment he lay down, and he dreamed of fire and dying ships and people calling for help he could not give. By day 14, the Ven were down to their last 3 major defensive positions. The Krell had taken half the Ven territory. Millions of Ven had been evacuated, but hundreds of thousands were still in danger. Nathan was running out of options and running out of time. On day 16, Vorn came to Nathan with bad news. The last colony will fall in 6 days, Vorn said. Maybe 4 if the Krell push hard. We do not have enough ships to evacuate everyone in time. How many people? Nathan asked. 2 million, Warren said. Nathan's stomach dropped. 2 million people. And he had only a few ships left. He could save maybe half of them if he was lucky. Keep evacuating, Nathan said. Do not give up. Humans do not give up when things get hard. We push harder. That night, Nathan could not sleep. He sat in the observation deck and looked at the stars. Somewhere out there, his message had already arrived. Somewhere out there, people on Earth were reading his words. They were deciding if they would help. They were deciding if they would risk their ships and their soldiers for a species. They did not know. Nathan knew the answer had to be yes. If it was no, everything was finished. The Ven would be destroyed. And then the Krell would come for humanity. Nathan's message had made that clear. The Krell were not stopping. The Krell were expanding, and they would keep expanding until someone stopped them. On day 17, the signal reached Earth. It appeared in the communication center of Earth Station 5 at 10:45 hours, local time. The officer who received it was shocked. The message came from a human who was supposed to be dead. The message described an alien species and a threat that nobody expected. Within 2 hours, the message was on the desk of the military command. Within 3 hours, Earth's leaders were in emergency session. Within 4 hours, the order went out. The Terran Armada would mobilize. Every military ship in human space would prepare for combat. The fastest ships would leave immediately, even if they were only partially ready. The others would follow as soon as they could jump. Humanity's military machine, which had not fought a real war in over a century, would go to war. On day 18, the first human ships began to accelerate toward the Ven territories. On day 19, more ships followed. On day 20, the full power of the Terran Armada was in motion, heading toward a battle with an enemy they had never seen, fighting for an alien species they had just learned existed, following the call of a single human who had become something more than human. Nathan sat in the command room and watched the data from Earth arrive. Ships were coming, hundreds of them. Thousands of soldiers and pilots and commanders. Humanity was answering his call. He thought about the old Nathan Rogers, the one who had crashed his ship all those years ago. That Nathan was fighting to survive. This Nathan was fighting to save a whole civilization. Nathan held Kesh's hand and watched the tactical display. The Krell dots were still moving forward. But now there were new dots appearing on the map. Blue dots moving fast from the human territories toward the Ven space. The Armada was coming. The Krell did not know what was coming for them. They did not know that they had triggered something they could not stop. They did not know that a single human had called an entire species to war. In 17 more days. They would find out. The Krell did not see them coming until it was too late. The Terran Armada came through space like a storm. The first wave of human ships hit the Krell formation at high speed, firing weapons that the Krell had never seen before. The human ships were built for war. Every system was designed for combat. Every weapon was built to destroy. Nathan watched the battle unfold on the tactical displays in the command room. Blue dots representing human ships moved through the red dots representing Krell ships with precision and power. It was beautiful and terrible at the same time. Human forces are engaging the Krell main fleet, Vorn said. They are winning. Nathan felt something shift inside him. For weeks, he had watched the Ven lose battle after battle. He had watched them run and hide and try to negotiate. Now he was watching humans fight. He was watching what a warrior species could do when it had to. Admiral Margaret Chung was leading the Armada. She had read Nathan's file before arriving. She knew the story. A human lost in space, rescued by aliens, now calling his new family's killers to war. She knew that this mission was about more than stopping one invasion. It was about showing the galaxy that humans answered when one of their own called for help. The battle raged for 14 hours. Krell ships were destroyed at a rate the Ven had never achieved. But the Krell fought back hard. Human ships were hit and damaged. Some human soldiers died. It was not an easy victory. It was a fight between two military forces, and both of them could kill. But the humans had something the Krell did not expect. They had fought against each other for centuries before they developed fast space travel. They had learned how to win wars. They had learned that strategy and tactics mattered more than power. They had learned to work together in ways the Krell had never understood. Nathan stood in the command room and watched the Krell fleet break apart. The Krell ships that could escape were running now, leaving their damaged vessels behind, leaving their wounded to die. The Krell were retreating. "They are leaving," Captain Yuri said. Her voice had a tone Nathan had never heard before. Relief, victory, sadness. "Yes," Nathan said. "They are leaving." The battle was over. The Krell would not be back soon. They would find easier targets in other parts of space. The Ven were safe, at least for now. The Terran Armada did not leave right away. The human ships moved into position to defend the remaining Ven colonies. They began relief operations, sending medical supplies and food and water to the populations that had been cut off from support. They rescued Ven who were stranded on damaged ships. They helped. That was what they did. They helped. Nathan was in the docking bay when Admiral Chun boarded the Ven ship. The Admiral was tall and strong, with gray in her hair and scars on her face from a fight that had happened long ago. She wore the uniform of the Terran military, and her eyes were smart and hard. When she saw Nathan, she stopped for a moment. She was seeing a human who had become something else. Nathan could read the questions in her eyes. Is he still one of ours? Can we trust him? What has the galaxy done to him? Lieutenant Commander Rogers, Admiral Chun said. She extended her hand. Nathan took it. The Admiral's grip was firm and real. Admiral Chun, Nathan said. Thank you for coming. Thank you for answering the call. You are a human, the Admiral said. When a human calls for help, we answer. That is what we do. That is who we are. Nathan felt tears come to his eyes. He had been away from humanity so long that he had forgotten this. He had forgotten the feeling of belonging to something. Now, an admiral of the human fleet was standing in front of him, showing him that humans still remembered him. Humans had come across the void of space because one of their own had asked them to. The Ven need support, Nathan said. Medical, food, supplies. Millions of people were evacuated. Hundreds of thousands of homes were destroyed. They need everything. We will help, Admiral Chun said. I am bringing in supply ships. I am leaving 10,000 soldiers to help with reconstruction. This is not going to be easy, but we will help rebuild. Captain Yuri came forward. The Ven captain's eyes were wet with tears of gratitude and sadness and relief. I do not know how to thank you, Captain Yuri said to the Admiral. You did not have to help us. We are not your people. You did not have to risk your soldiers. You saved one of my people, the Admiral said. You saved a human when you did not have to, when nobody would have blamed you if you had let him die. You saved him because it was right to do. That is why I am here, because it was right to do. Over the next days, the work of relief and reconstruction began. Human soldiers worked side by side with Ven workers to clear rubble and rebuild structures. Human doctors worked with Ven healers to treat the wounded. Human engineers helped the Ven repair their damaged ships and communication systems. Nathan worked harder than anyone. He helped move supplies. He helped translate between humans and Ven. He helped families find each other after being separated in the evacuation. He helped bury the dead. There were so many dead. Cash found Nathan one night in the ruins of a colony. She put her arms around him, and they held each other in the darkness. You did this, Kesh said. You saved us. Your people saved us. The Krell did this, Nathan said. But yes, the humans helped us stop them. What happens now? Kesh asked. Nathan looked at the ruins around them, at the humans and Ven working together in the rubble. He looked at Myra, who was helping an old Ven woman carry water. His daughter was learning that humans and Ven could work together. She was learning that both species could help each other. Now we rebuild, Nathan said. Now we show the galaxy that we can be friends. Now we show them that when one of us is in danger, we all fight back. Now we show them that humans and Ven can do more together than apart. 2 weeks later, Nathan stood with Admiral Chun and Captain Yuri as they signed the agreement that would bind humanity and the Ven together. It was not a contract between governments. It was a promise between two species that they would help each other. It was a promise that if one was attacked, the other would come. It was a promise based on the simple act of saving a life. This is the beginning of something new, Admiral Chun said. This is the beginning of an alliance that might change the galaxy. All because one ship saved one human, Captain Yuri said. Nathan looked at both of them, and he felt the weight of what had happened. Millions had died. Billions in resources had been spent. Ships had been destroyed. But something new had been born. Humans and Ven had bled together. They had fought together. They had learned that they could trust each other. Not all because of that, Nathan said. Because humans and Ven both chose to help when they did not have to. That is what created this alliance. The choice to help, even when it was hard. That night, Nathan stood on the observation deck with his family. Kesh was beside him, her hand in his. Mira was asleep in a nearby chair, worn out from a day of helping with the reconstruction. The stars above them were the same stars he had seen the day the Ven ship saved him. All those years ago, Nathan thought about the journey from that moment to this one. He had been lost. The Ven had found him. He had become one of them. And now, because he had called out in his time of need, an entire species had come to help. The Ven had saved one human. And years later, that one human had called an entire armada to save everyone he loved. Nathan closed his eyes and held his family close. The galaxy was a big and dangerous place. There were species that killed without thinking. There were forces that destroyed without mercy. But there were also moments of grace. There were moments when different species chose to help each other. There were moments when compassion won. This was one of those moments. And Nathan would spend the rest of his life making sure it would not be the last.